Hey everybody, happy Saturday morning. My whole purpose for this is because I wanted to highlight Mama Agata Cooking School in the beautiful Amalfi Coast, specifically in the little town of Ravello. And Agata and Chiara, this is her daughter Chiara in the back, have been running this cooking school out of their home for many years. And it is one of the best and most highly acclaimed cooking experiences in all of Italy, not just Amalfi. So I have been sending my clients there for years to take cooking classes, and I just thought it would be fun to highlight one of the many wonderful vendors that we use, that we have great relationships with, and that my clients absolutely love. So it's really a phenomenal experience, and they're lovely people, and we send our prayers and good wishes to them to get back up and running as soon as possible. In the meantime, we are having some fun this morning, and we're going to make Zeppole. And Zeppole, you know, every culture has a fried donut dough of some kind, whether it's churros or donuts or Zeppole, you know, it's essentially the same type of thing. So very quickly, I'm going to show you how we make the dough, and then I'll come back later and show you, because we got to let it rise for about an hour and a half. So I have cooked 2 pounds of potatoes, skins on, and when they were tender, I let them cool, I peeled the potatoes, and then I put them through a ricer. And if you've never seen a potato ricer, it looks like this. You can get one just about anywhere. Put the peeled potato in, smush it through, and you get very fine consistency potatoes just like this. So I put them through the ricer, and this is 2 pounds of potatoes, just a little teeny bit shy of 2 pounds. I also have a kilo of flour. This is 00 flour, which is super fine. You can find this in specialty markets. If you can't find 00 flour, pastry flour or bread flour will do just as well. And if you can't find that, flour will do just as well, okay? So what I did just before starting is I took a cup of whole milk and 10 tablespoons of butter, and I melted the butter in the milk, and then I let it come back down to cool, because you don't want to have it be too hot. It should be just a little more than room temperature. I have 2 envelopes of dry yeast, which I'm going to dissolve into this mixture. If you don't have dry yeast, you can also use cake yeast, but you need about 50 grams worth, okay? So I'm just going to dissolve the yeast. I also have here 6 eggs, room temperature, the zest of 1 lemon, 2 tablespoons, good size, of baking powder, and 3/4 of a cup of regular sugar, pinch of salt, some vanilla. Now, Agata's recipe calls for putting cinnamon in the dough. My daughter and I decided we don't want cinnamon in the dough. We like it more plain dough, and then we will roll the donuts in cinnamon sugar when it's done, and that's enough cinnamon. So it's to your taste. It doesn't alter the recipe in any way, but if you like it that way with the cinnamon in the dough, then go for it. You need about 2 teaspoons worth in the dough. So almost got my yeast dissolved in the milk and butter mixture. It's really important that it dissolves thoroughly. And basically this dough is assembled. Let me just let that sit for an extra minute. I'm going to pour my flour out onto the board, and I'm going to kind of make like a big old ring. Do this without having it land everywhere. Again, that's a kilo of flour, or just about 2 pounds. You can look at the conversions. I'm going to make a big old well here, okay, like this. And then I'm going to add all of the other ingredients into the well. Okay, so we have our mound of flour. To that, we're going to add our dry ingredients, more of our dry ingredients, which is the sugar, the baking powder, pinch of salt, and the lemon zest. I put the vanilla in with my butter mixture because it made more sense to do that, but I don't think it matters. And now I'm just going to kind of mix this up so that it's well incorporated. Okay. With my hands on a clean surface here that I've already prepped. And now that that's incorporated, I'm going to make my well again, and that's where my prepared riced potatoes are going to go in. So the next step is to mix the potatoes with the flour. Okay? Potatoes are considered part of the dry ingredients. I almost feel like I'm making gnocchi here, because when we make gnocchis, we like potato gnocchi. So your flour and your potatoes get incorporated together. And here's where it's a good idea, if you have a bench scraper handy to kind of keep things under control. Okay, so mixing my potatoes and all of my other dry ingredients together like this. It's kind of fun, it's kind of cathartic. Get your hands in stuff. I've never understood bread machines, because to me the fun and process of making bread and baking bread is the kneading and the proofing and so on. And you know, to me, throwing a bunch of ingredients into a bread maker just seems to defeat the purpose. That's why I've never bought one. I have practically every kitchen thing there is to have, but that's not one of them, because why? Anyway, here we go. Now I'm going to go back to making my mound with the well in the middle, just as if we were making homemade pasta. You know, you make a little well to keep everything contained. I am going to add my yeast, milk, butter, and vanilla mixture to the center. There we go. There we are. And my eggs. Stay. There's no way to do this and not get your hands messy, okay? So I took my jewelry off and I'm good to go. So basically what you're trying to do is you're slowly pulling in the dry ingredients to the wet, and eventually it will slowly start to come together like this. Okay, as you can see, we're starting to come together here as a dough. Okay. Keep going until it tries to get away. Push it back. Here we go. Alright. We got it contained enough now. That's not going to try to run off the table. Here we go. These are going to be really good. Second, I'm just going to use my scraper to bring this all together. Here we go. All right. Okay. We're getting there. What I do know, this is a lot of donuts. So if your dough is too soft, like this was too soft, it's probably, again, the ratio with your liquid was a little bit off. No big deal. Just add more flour, like I've done here, until you get a nice, soft pliable, albeit messy dough. We're gonna let this rest a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you how we form them, let them rise, and then they get fried like you would with any other donut. So we'll be back. There it is. Okay, I got my work surface cleaned up a little bit. I've let this rest for about 5 minutes, not long. And now it's time to shake the donuts, Zeppole. So I just have a couple of sheet pans here, or as many as you need. I have a feeling I'm going to need a few more when this is all done, because this recipe makes a lot of dough. So basically you're just going to cut off a chunk, and you're going to roll this out to each one should probably not be more than a couple of centimeters, because it's going to rise. Don't forget, you got yeast in here, and you've got baking powder. So you're just going to make donut rings, if you will. You're just going to roll about to that thickness. You don't want them to be too thick, because when you fry them, you want to make sure that they cook through. So that's about the thickness that you're looking for. Okay, and bring each one together and keep rolling and putting them on your tray. These are going to rise for about an hour and a half. So when we're ready to fry them, we'll come back and show what that looks like. But for now, I'm going to roll out some Zeppole and come back in a little bit. Okay? Okay guys, donuts are done. Zeppole are done. We're calling them donuts because that's what we know them as. In Italy they call them Zeppole, and here they are. They came out great. I want to show you that they are super light and fluffy inside, and really, really good. So my friends are about to come by for a drive-by box of donuts. I'm going to hand them through the car window from afar, and hope they enjoy them. They're still warm. I wish I could share with everybody, but have a great rest of the weekend and go cook something fun. See ya.